Footnote Press presents Bullshit Comparisons, a field guide to thinking critically in a world of difference. Written and read by Andrew Brooks. Introduction. What makes a bullshit comparison? What is bullshit? Bullshit survives in the near shore between truth and lie, something that is slippery and dishonest, yet not as salty as a baseless fiction. An 18-year-old who had dropped out of my high school once bragged he had a brand new BMW X5. He then turned up outside our local nightclub in a brash, gleaming silver SUV with the music pumping. This guy was a bullshitter. As my impressed friends piled into the warm white leather interior for lifts home, it all seemed true. Maybe he'd got rich after flunking out of school. In the cold light of day, I found out he had only had it for that one night. It was his boss's car, a boss he had been chauffeuring around. So what he'd said was a nearly truth, not a full-blown lie, but a twisted misrepresentation of reality, with the aim of amplifying his own social standing. He was a young man, conflating looking after his employer's flash BMW with having his own car. It was youthful, silly, and arrogant, and a sort of lie that couldn't be sustained. It was bullshit. The origins of the term bullshit are uncertain, but we know for sure that there's a lot of it floating about. Some is easy to spot, other instances require more insight and critical thinking. A bullshit comparison is a particularly misleading type of mistruth, because comparing two different objects can tie fact and fiction together. This audiobook will help you spot these misleading comparisons concealed in plain sight, and unpick arguments that at first glance appear to use robust data or compelling metaphors, but actually present a distorted, not really true, version of reality. Before unpacking what makes for a bullshit comparison, it will help to expand the definition of bullshit in general terms. We encounter all manner of sort of lies through our daily lives and tend to forgive or forget them, ignoring the ludicrous tabloid headline based on a grain of truth, dismissing the overly enthusiastic sales patter of an estate agent, or refusing to give credence to the greenwashing claims of an oil company. That is not to say we tolerate the abundant could-be truths. They can have real consequences, and forever tarnish reputations. Two modern American presidents are infamous for their bullshit. During his administration, the US enjoyed more peace and economic well-being than any time in its history, and he worked harder than any president to build peace in the Middle East. Yet the first, bullshitter-in-chief, is more notorious for what he said he didn't do in the White House than his political accomplishments. Bill Clinton is best remembered for his personal relations with Monica Lewinsky rather than his policies. He was tried in the Senate and found not guilty of the charges brought against him. Clinton sidestepped the issue in his grand jury testimony, using carefully worded explanations such as, "It depends on what the meaning of the word is." He later apologized to the nation for his actions, claiming to have answered questions truthfully and legally accurately, but admitting to not volunteering information and having had a relationship with a young female intern that was not appropriate. There is now no doubt about his sexual indiscretions in the Oval Office, but in the late 1990s he skillfully rode a wave of bullshit and continued to have unprecedented popular approval ratings. If Clinton is notorious for one defining moment, the 45th president is known for permanently inhabiting the intertidal zone between fact and fiction. Donald Trump is, by his own admission, a "I say what's on my mind" kind of guy, concerned with constructing a could-be-true narrative that reinforces his worldview. The examples are myriad, misrepresenting his conduct towards women, the unbuilt border wall, casting doubt over Barack Obama's citizenship, distorting the scale of his inauguration crowd, and disputing the lost election. He elevates bullshit to an art form. His medium is the media, and like a potter moulding clay, he readily manipulates the press. If you do things a little differently, if you say outrageous things and fight back, they love you. Provoking controversy results in free publicity, and is catalyzed by exaggeration. A Trumpian claim might start with a kernel of truth, but grows into a forest of lies. When Trump complained at the start of his presidency that Obama ordered his phones to be wiretapped, he was not really trying to persuade people that this was true. He was a bluffer, doubling down in his acrimonious dispute with Obama. There was no evidence that this had happened, yet it was almost conceivable.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?